Welcome to JenPenCreations. I'm Jen. Today is about 3 days before the new year. It is December 29th of 2025. That's when I'm recording this. And I think that it's the time of year to reflect on what actually happened this year. Did I achieve any of my goals this year? Did I have goals to achieve this year? And it's a good time to reflect on the things that we want to accomplish next year. So I'm going to talk about that today. So stay with me and I'll get right to it. $2025. What a year, right? I mean, economically, politically, there's been some crazy stuff that's happened this year. And I mean, we could talk about that, but I would much rather talk about those little things that we've accomplished in our own little private areas of life. I know that not all of us have the same goals and the same things that we're working towards, but I truly hope that you get a chance to sit down and reflect on your year and what you've accomplished and your personal goals that you want to accomplish for next year. And so today I want to talk about mine. Let's start at the beginning of 2025. January of 2025, I had no idea what was going to hit me the rest of the year. I mean, I think that we all start January off like that. We're very hopeful. We're like, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, we're going to get this year up and going. We're going to be fantastic. This is our year, right? Every year, every new year, this is our year. This is when things are going to happen for us. Well, I didn't necessarily think that things were going to happen for me. I was just living a pretty decent life and wanted to keep it that way. Like, I was doing okay at that time. And I really just wanted to keep my life going okay like that. But life wasn't going to stay the way it was for me. I started off the year pretty strong in the same situation I was in at the end of 2024, which was I was working for an amazing woman, and I will still honestly say that she is one of the best, most wonderful people I have ever met in my life, and I enjoyed working for her so immensely. I was very, very sad when I was laid off at the end of April. Things had happened and she had lost one of her biggest clients due to her not being big enough to hold them and whatever. It was a big to-do, and I ended up losing my job because she needed her clients and she needed her stuff. She needed to get paid for the work that she was doing, and she didn't have that extra income to pay me. So I had no idea in January that I was going to get laid off at the end of April. Honestly, she had no idea that I was going to get laid off at the end of April by that point. I was doing my job. Everything was great. I had planned on getting new plants to plant in my front flower beds and hoping to buy some already sprouted, vegetables and stuff to plant into my backyard garden. And I had all these plans for stuff, but then I found out in the middle of March that I was losing my job at the end of April. And it really saddened me because now I didn't have the money to buy the plants and stuff that I wanted to have my garden and do my whole summertime thing with my plants and the gardening and chickens and all of that. I was very saddened by that, and the only reason I didn't have the money for that is because at the beginning of March, I set a new goal, and I knew I was going to make enough money to buy a new treadmill so that I could start working on my own personal well-being and health. I was over 300 pounds. I had reached 310 pounds again because I had started working out and everything was good, and then wintertime comes and I stop going because it gets cold outside and I don't like the cold. So I had lost a bunch of weight and got down to about 282, and then I end up gaining it all back over the wintertime, and this has been happening to me for several years now. So I decided that, you know what, last year I had a decent job. I was getting paid pretty good. I knew that the good pay season was coming, and that started in January, February. And I was making money and everything was good, and I bought myself a treadmill, figured that, my money would stretch through the year and into the next year and stuff while I was still working. Well, that didn't work out. I got laid off at the end of April. Needless to say, I spent a whole lot of money on a treadmill in March, then got laid off in April, and was very, very sad because I needed to save the rest of the money that I had left to pay bills the rest of the year. And I was able to. But my garden suffered. I didn't get anything planted in my vegetable garden because by the time I had gotten laid off, it was too late to start seeds. You need to start seeds in like January, February so that they're tall enough to be planted into the ground come April and May. So I usually start planting all of my vegetables into the ground outside around Mother's Day. We're in Colorado, so the ground is still frozen through then. So I wanted to... I just ended up having a whole year that I didn't get anything done. So I was not able to get many of my goals accomplished this last year because of the layoff at the end of April. And that really put a damper on things for me. It also put a damper on my attitude and my thoughts towards my year. I was very sad, down in the dumps, thinking that this year was just wasted. I still haven't found a job. I started a YouTube channel. So, I did end up starting this YouTube channel around July. I'm hopeful that someday it might be monetized and I could actually start working by doing videos, and maybe then I'll put out more videos for you at a time. Currently, I'm just doing this as a legacy channel for my children and my grandchildren, and I just think that they need to know who I am as a person and what things I feel like I want to contribute to this world and what I feel like I have contributed to this world. Someday, maybe my channel will be monetized and I can just do this for a living. Until then, I'm still doing odd side things, trying to make some money here and there. I mean, I used to be a soap maker and I had a whole soap business. I haven't made soap in a long time, but I can start doing that again. I mean, I do have all kinds of things that I could start doing that, might help me along. And I've started some of those things. Now, back to buying my treadmill. I bought the treadmill because I chose to have a new goal. I gave myself a new goal back in March. And I know that it has taken me a year, and I know that a lot of people think that losing such a small amount of weight as going from 310 pounds down to 275 is not really a whole lot, especially since it took me a year to do it. But I am very, very proud of myself. I weighed myself this morning. I am down to my 275 goal. I have been over 300 pounds for probably the last 2 decades of my life. And I am so happy and proud of myself that I am finally 275. I have not been 275 since I gave birth to my second daughter. Or my twins, I think, was the last time I was this low of weight. I have been very, very diligent and trying so hard. I had been working super hard to get down to 275 before the end of the year. And I was hopeful for it before Christmas, but I don't know if I was 275 on Christmas. I didn't have a chance to weigh myself that day. So I weighed myself today and I have hit my 275. So I may have been 275 by Christmas, but hey, you know what? I don't know. I know that I've made it to 275 before the end of this year. So I am very proud of myself for hitting that goal. That is one goal that I actually accomplished this year. Although I never did get my flowers planted or my vegetables planted or my gardens going or the yard doing anything that I wanted it to do. But I've realized that although I missed out on one summer's worth of stuff, I do have this year. And I have been tinkering around with my 3D pen like you've seen in my video of making Christmas ornaments. My kids loved those ornaments, by the way. I was so happy with that. And I've also been messing around with the 3D printer. I've made a couple cool little snakes. And I've made some household items that are actually very useful. Like, I don't know how I've lived without a towel holder in the kitchen. I guess I've just been throwing the towel on the counter for so long. It never has a place to live. It just lives on the counter in some space that's not occupied by something else because I have very little counter space. And my towel was taking up some of that real estate that I need to make dinner and stuff. So I was super happy when I was able to 3D print a towel holder for the kitchen. That was awesome. So I have decided to 3D print myself some little seed starters. They're like little self-watering seed starters with lids. So I'm going to 3D print myself some of those seed starters and start my own seeds at the end of next month. Hopefully, I will end up with some flowers and some vegetables for my flower beds in my garden this year. I'm super, super excited about 2026. I think that what I'm planning to do to counteract what happened in 25, because I felt so unproductive and I was so sad and kind of down on myself like the first half of the year, that I've had a hard time catching back up. And then in October, my treadmill went down and I had to call Bowflex and they had to go through all of this troubleshooting and then send a technician out to fix my treadmill. It was fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, I was very worried because after reading reviews from Bowflex customer service, I was very, very worried that they weren't going to take care of me. And I'm going to tell you, I had the greatest experience with them. They came out, they fixed my machine, everything was wonderful, and now I'm back working on it again. And even during the time, I'm so thankful that the weather worked for me, because during the time that my treadmill wasn't working, the weather was nice outside and I was able to get out and take hikes. I mean, I took you on a couple of them. So we were able to go up Helen Hunt Falls. We were able to go hike through Palmer Park. I was able to go and take walks through Fountain Creek. I know I didn't take you on any of those, but that is another one of my goals for this year, is to take you on way more walks with me this year. I'm actually hoping to find a few new trails, like trails I had never been on before, and take you with me on these trails so we can experience it for the first time together. That would be fun. I have that as a goal for this summer. So I'm very excited that the weather will cooperate with us this summer. And once it starts, everything starts thawing out. Like, it snowed the other day, so even the chickens won't come out of their coop. I spoil them they have a heater in their coop. So on days that it gets really cold, they just like live in their coop all day. They're so funny. They only come outside when I come out to feed them, and they crack me up. But once everything starts to thaw out and I'm able to get outside and take my hikes again, we are going on some amazing trails here in Colorado. I'll probably take you on a drive up the mountains. I've got a few of my favorite trails up there. Some of them have the raspberries, wild mountain raspberries, and wild sage. I love going up and picking the sage and the raspberries in September because that's when they are harvestable. But we can go up there and look at them as teeny tiny little plants and watch them grow, and it's fantastic. I am looking forward to doing all kinds of amazing nature walks and stuff with you this summer. So my year is actually packed with some goals and things I would like to accomplish. And I'm really hopeful that you will join me on this journey this year. My new goal for the end of 2026 is to lose another 25 pounds. I know that it was 30 to 35 pounds. I went from 310 down to 275. So that's like 35 pounds. So I am going to try to make it to 250 pounds by the end of next year. If I can get that 25 pounds down before the end of the year, we'll make another goal and I'll make another video about it. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited to spend this next year with you. I'm very, very thankful and blessed to be able to have this opportunity to hang out with you and spend time with you, share my life with you, share my life experience, my advice, my ideas, my opinions. I mean, sometimes I get a little opinionated and I rant a little bit, but I am super excited to be able to share more of this with you this year. So let me know what some of your goals are for this next year. Let me know if you accomplished any goals in 2025, because if you accomplished goals, like I accomplished my weight loss goal. I mean, I didn't accomplish a lot of my goals or all of my goals, but I did accomplish one, and I got myself down to 275. That deserves celebration. It deserves recognition, and you deserve recognition too. So let me know, did you accomplish any of your goals this year? If you did, shoot it down in the comments. I want to hear about it. I want to give you the congratulations and recognition that you deserve for achieving your goals, because I'm going to tell you, that's hard stuff. So let's work on some goals together this next year. 2026 is going to be our year, right? It's going to be our year. We're starting it off good. We're going to smooth through this year and make it the best one ever. And we're going to do it together. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. Go out and start thinking about and working on your goals for next year. Come back and hang out with me again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.